Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of new. Thank you for checking out the video today. So first of all, just quickly to say that all the gameplay that you're seeing in the background in this video is mine. It's from videos of mine in the past. It's a wide mix of all the different games that I put on my channel. Well, not all of them, but quite a few of them. And I thought it'd be interesting just to have that in the background while I do this video for you. So just to let you know now, this video is going to be completely serious. There will be no joking around, no stupid stuff. You get the idea. Basically, it's all going to be quite serious. It's a general update video. It's something that I know a lot of people have kind of been wondering and trying to figure out what's going on with the channel, basically. And well, hopefully by the end of this video, that should clarify up the whole thing, everything in the future as well. So, sorry, I've got a load of stuff in my throat. So, what this video is going to do is kind of go in parts. We're going to go in the parts of basically looking at why this channel has kind of gone in the mess it has during the period of September to, I'm going to say April. I'm not really going to count this month, May, because it's actually got a bit more on track again. But alright, we're going to say up to April. So September to April. Alright. And then I'm going to talk about what's going to be changing and the new things that are going to be added and lots of new stuff. Alright. And just what is going to happen, basically. Alright. You're going to see it. It's all in parts. Right. So we're going to start off with why the channel itself has changed in such a drastic way from September last year up to April this year. So for everyone around in Europe and that, you probably know what university is. For the people in America and I believe Canada as well, it's known as college to you, so just to make sure nobody gets confused there. Right, so in September I started at university, which was awesome. I obviously was, on a pretty reasonable course. It's a game development course. I'm still on it, just to clarify that. It's good fun, and yeah, well, I've learned quite a few things from being on it. But what it did demand is obviously a lot of essay, a lot of coursework as in artifact design, group things, all sorts of things basically. They demanded a lot of time, a real big chunk actually of time, and this was a bit of a problem, especially if you are a YouTuber like me and you're trying to create YouTube content, because as you go obviously through the days, you have your lectures, you have to go to all of them, and then you've also got these huge chunks of self-study and things that you need to do, and all these artifacts and essays and things that you have to do as well. They take up a lot of time, right? A lot of time. And because of that, it kind of it basically stops you from being able to spend a lot of time on your videos and things on YouTube. And there is no easy way for me to find a way around that. Obviously there were things as well where I went out with my friends at university too, which I don't regret doing. I was quite happy to go out and hang around with some of my friends every once in a while. It's better than being stuck inside your room all the time. So, I was happy to do that. So those were other reasons as well. But in the end, you you have to look at it this way. The most amount of time that I ever got to make videos while I was at uni during all this period was about an hour or 2 hours at the most. If I was feeling really generous and I was doing something like an Easter egg or possibly a marathon, I'll get onto that later, but basically Easter eggs where they're about 2 or sometimes 3 hours long, But otherwise, every video was going to have an hour or possibly 2 hours dedicated to it. Um, do bear in mind here that that time does not just count for making the video, that also counts for editing it, converting it, and basically putting it up on YouTube. And if the video broke for whatever reason, that's it. That was the end of the video for that day. There was no way on earth I was going to be able to just go back and recreate it that day. It was the end, right? You just had to live without a video that day. And people did notice as time went along, videos that were going up on the channel were decreasing on a rapid rate, and we have sometimes like one a week, or possibly even two at the most at points. And they were really going downhill, and also the general quality, and this was not just for you, this was for me as well, felt like it had gone downhill, and it looked rushed, it felt rushed, and it just didn't really look good at all. And I know that most other people are like, yeah, I'm not too keen on where he's going at the moment, he's changed and not in such a good way. I have to agree with every single one of those comments that people made about that, and yeah, you're right. It really did feel like that, and it is sad that that is actually reality of how it was, but there's really not a lot I could do about it. And obviously, when we got further on through the year, i.e. this year, the workload increased even more, intensified even further, which basically obviously led to the point where sometimes during a whole week I wouldn't create a single video because I had no time. I had absolutely no time at all to dedicate to making a video for the channel. And that felt bad. That felt horrible to have to abandon people, and you know, it wasn't the right thing to do, in my opinion. But at the same time, I really didn't have a choice, because you either have to look at it this way: either I sacrifice some time off of my studies and I go and make a video, and then possibly screw up the whole of my studies. Bear in mind that is my future career in life, or I spend time, you know, just going and doing my actual studies and hopefully getting the career that I want in life and getting to that point. And in the end, I have to say that the doing the studies part is more important. I am afraid that is just the reality of it. And yes, it did mean that I had to leave you guys without anything at all, which was a shame, and I wish that didn't have to be the case, but it was. But there's not a lot I could do about it, but there you go. The other part I wanted to add in here is also, you may have noticed from kind of January to, I think it was March, but mostly January and February, you would have noticed that a lot of my videos had somebody else in them when I was doing them, and that other person was Pete, who some of you already know from previous videos that I've done. And the different comments that I got back from people were saying, in particular, why is Pete the one that's always playing these games at the moment? Why are you not doing it? In particular for something like Resident Evil 7, why are you not playing that at all, basically? Why is it always Pete? Like, I played it a bit, yes, when we did it together, but not a lot. It was mostly Pete. And I can answer that to you straight away. But in order to answer that, first of all, we need to go back in time a little bit to 2015. So a lot of you who were around on this channel back in 2015 will remember that, well, like there was a whole 5-month period basically where I had no videos, or if I did, they were very small videos on the channel. And the reason for this, and I know a lot of people know this, who were there back then, was because I had a pneumothorax, which to English terms, you all, was a collapsed lung. And basically the collapsed lung, in the end, well, obviously it took me away from being able to do videos and things. It took me away from my whole life, not just videos. I just ended up being inside a hospital all the time, having to, well, just sit in a bed effectively and wait for this thing to heal. Having operations and surgeries on it, basically having these tubes shoved in and out of my side all the time and that. And it, it made a big difference, that, and it was probably the most horrible experience I've ever had in my whole entire life, to be perfectly honest. But why that is relevant to now is the fact that that pain, that all that surgery and like all these tubes and things that went in and out of me caused, is still here, and it's actually got a bit more severe at points, to the point where I basically couldn't go and do a lot of things. Like, I couldn't sit down and study, I couldn't go out and do things with my friends, I couldn't even go to lectures, I couldn't even get out of the bed sometimes because I was in that much pain. And these different drugs and things that I was trying to take to get rid of the pain weren't working. And, well, that period was it was a big period of it was almost like a scary period for me, not because I was scared of having like another lung problem, but more the point of I was completely missing everything related to university. I was missing like lectures, I wasn't able to do work fast enough, all sorts of things. And it was a big deal, it really was, and it was quite a scary moment all that time there for me. But then, oh god, this stuff in my throat's really annoying, sorry. But obviously I had talked with Pete beforehand about him coming to the channel and sort of teaming up together, and that's still a thing, by the way. And in the end, well, I made it become reality, and at the time, let's put it this way, at the time there were games that I needed to record, there were things that I really wanted to get up on the channel for you, and one of those games in particular was Resident Evil 7. As you guys all know, I played the demo and that for you, and I specifically said to you, if you remember back in the days, that I was going to, without any doubt, record Resident Evil 7 on its release date for you. Now, look at it in the way of, you're in so much pain that you can't even play games, right? Now that's where it became a problem, because I was in that kind of pain where I basically didn't want to play games at all, and Resident Evil 7 was basically about to release, and that was the game that I promised that I would record for you. And I was sort of stuck, and I was like, okay, now this is a bit of a problem. But in the end, I had it covered because I had someone like Pete who came along and not only wanted to play Resident Evil 7 and play it with me anyway, but also was able to actually sit down and go through the whole game and, you know, just accept it for what it was and play it. Which was great for me, because obviously it meant that I could still show you guys Resident Evil 7 and get it up on the channel, even though it wasn't all me. It was mostly Pete, but at the same time it was good to have that option available and for it to actually be reality, because obviously if that didn't happen, then you wouldn't have had Resident Evil 7 at all on release date, and you probably wouldn't have it for ages for that reason, and that would have been sad, and I didn't want that to happen. There are more videos for Resident Evil 7 coming on, but I'm going to get to that later. But the point is here that Pete came along at that point, and he did a lot of videos with me and also a lot of videos for me while I was present, obviously. When I literally felt like I couldn't play games at all or do anything like that, which was great, and I'm so happy that he did that, because I really didn't want to have to go through another huge chunk of months like I had to back in 2015 where I had no content. I did not want that to happen again. It was bad enough that I was having problems with uni and trying to actually get videos up in the first place. It was good that he was able to come along and just record some videos with me on my channel and just get them on there, and that was great. I'm so happy that he did that. So a lot of props to him for that. Now that pretty much answers why Pete was playing Resident Evil 7, I think, at this point, and why he played a lot of other games. However, you may have noticed when I was playing with Pete, sometimes I would play some of the shorter, if you like, length videos that we did, so shorter games, if you like, with him, and those were things like the Lord of the Rings levels and that. And that's because they were short and they didn't like last forever, and I didn't mind doing that. I will admit that when we were doing the Guitar Hero ones, I did not feel like doing the Guitar Hero ones at all. It probably made me feel more ill, to be honest, but at the same time, all I did was just play one song, so I didn't mind it, but it wasn't great. So there you go. But Pete really wanted to do the Guitar Hero ones, so fair enough to him. Right, so I think, to be honest, that answers all of the beginning part about the backstory of the whole channel mess. So as you can kind of tell, two of those things combined cause problems for, first of all, making videos and, you know, making them semi-good, rushing them, obviously, having problems with the health, basically not doing videos, and all that sort of stuff. That basically covers all of it when it comes to what happened during those periods of the month. Now, this is where it becomes a little different here. Due to the time that I had available becoming shorter and also becoming non-existent, you all may have noticed that the videos that I started doing were either really long ones, which were mostly Easter eggs, and those would go up and then there would be nothing for ages and ages, or you may have noticed that they were just really short videos. And yeah, well, that's basically the way it went, and it meant that this is where the mess comes into being, that there was just no sync of what I was doing on this channel. There was this, see, I still find it a mess and a horrible state. There was different games going up all the time. There were games that have been up for ages and haven't had a part 2 or part 3 or anything like that to them for all that time. There were tutorials that are meant to go up that still haven't gone up and things like that. You get the idea. Basically, it was just a mess, and it was not pleasing. And that mess really has shown itself, in my opinion, and it's big. I'm not really that surprised either that I have lost quite a few subscribers and things during that time as well, because of the mess that it is, and the way the content in general felt rushed and a bit almost like second-hand material, if you like. It just didn't feel good or look good or anything like that. So I sympathise with people that left for that reason. It's only fair. But now we're going to be moving on to the second part of this video, which is going to be talking about what is going to happen. Okay, so my top priority is to sort out this mess that we have, alright? Is to get it in the right order, is to get all these different videos and things just up and sorted out. So this will go, but obviously there are many other games that I'm not going to list here, but I'm going to go through a few of them just for your sake. So there are a few games here that in particular are on this list because these are the ones that I really want to get properly finished and done, and you know, it's not wasting time, if you like, from them being finished. And we've got Republic Commando that I am going to put as a priority to finish, and I want to do it, especially now that we've got a new camera and everything too. Penumbras, which have just had part ones to them and haven't had anything ever since. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, which has just sort of been left dead for almost, I think, a year now. Might have even been a bit more than that, to be honest. Like tutorials that have been promised but haven't actually gone up, so that's mostly the zombie tutorials, but you get the idea. There's loads of things, but like I said, I'm not going to list them all. Those are just some examples. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort this out, and we're going to go and actually create these videos if they're not already created. Some of them actually are, and put them up. We're going to go and finish off these series that are just on my channel that aren't finished, and we're going to sort this all out. Alright, this mess is coming to be sorted out, and I'm going to make sure it's going to get sorted out. Now, the fact that when I'm making this video currently, I no longer have anything at uni. I've finished my first year of uni, which means that I am basically free all the time practically now to sort out this mess, and that's what's going to happen. I'm going to dedicate this time to sorting out this mess. And this also means that I'm going to sort out some videos, in particular their titles and their descriptions, so they actually have descriptions rather than just the title being put in the description. I'm going to start actually writing some proper descriptions for them. Also, I'm going to be re-recording some old videos that I don't think were done very well or just need to be updated, in my opinion. So those. Then there's also, well, there's loads of things, right? But those are the things mostly to my channel. Now, I did want to slip in here and mention the Arkham World channel, which is my second channel, which is dedicated to the Arkham games, basically, and also other Batman games. I have had people ask me this: is that channel dead? Have you just given up on it, or are you still going to actually look at it at all? So the answer is yes, I am going to still keep an eye on it. I'm still going to make videos for it, put stuff on it. It's not dead, but at the moment it's just got to take a second priority over sorting out the mess that's on my proper primary channel, the JokerAlex one, because that really is my primary channel, and that obviously comes as the #1 priority, and that's the one that I want to fix and sort out first. Once we've got a few things sorted out on this channel, I will return to the Arkham World channel and get some more videos uploaded on that channel, so we actually get all the Arkham content that we're supposed to have on those channels. The other thing that I'm also going to do is I'm going to upload the videos that are on the Arkham World channel also to the Joker channell. So those are videos that are already on there, but also videos that I'm going to record in the future, like the one video that I did semi-recently of the Return to Arkham, Arkham Asylum gameplay that I did, where I was going through the story on that, which is on both channels at the moment. And then we got some of the Arkham Origins videos on my channel, as well as on the Arkham World channel. Yeah, basically I'm going to start uploading those onto both, but obviously it's coming as a second priority. My top priority, like I said, is the JokerAlex channel, so that is the way it's going to stay. So I think that goes over the general channel problems and that. Now, there's things that I want to talk about in regards to the future, and then that kind of covers pretty much everything that I need to go over. But I'm going to go over a few little bits and bobs at the end anyway. Right, so the future in general of the channel, we've got to look at what is coming and what could come and things like that. So I know that people have said to me that they don't really want me to reveal what would come onto the channel in the future in regards to games and that, because they almost like it as a surprise. I can agree with that idea, but I feel like I should at least reveal some of the things that are going to come in the future, because else it sort of feels a bit like, well, almost abandoned, if you like, and there's nothing new being told. I don't really know how to describe it, but something like that. Anyway, so some of the things I can confirm that will be popping up on the channel in the future are things like certain Lego games, like the Lego Harry Potter remasters. I'm going to put up on the channel a bit at some point. Lego Lord of the Rings will make its way onto the channel at some point. Lego Batman 1 will make its way onto the channel at some point, and that is the OG classic that I just love. The Time Splitters stuff, although some of that has already been on the channel, well, they all have in the past, but there are certain bits that never have been, but you get the idea. Then there's other things as well, like Nightfire, James Bond will come up on the channel. There's quite a wide variety of things, but I'm not going to spoil it all for you, obviously. I'm just giving you some brief idea of what will come, but there will be more, obviously. And I think really that's all I can say for the new content without spoiling it all, so I think I'll leave it there. Now, this brings me on to, again, I don't even know what to call this, maintenance or just general stuff for the channel. Right, so what I have been doing for a little while and sort of laying out, if you like, on sheets of paper and things is a general look to a website that I wanted to create for the channel. It's not just for the channel, it's also for the Planet Minecraft stuff and other things that I've done in the past and in the future will do. And this website will have everything on it. It will have all my YouTube videos, but they'll be in actual proper formats. So you have Star Wars in one area, you have Lord of the Rings in another, Call of Duty in one area, and all that. Then you'll have tutorials, written up guides for certain games that actually need those, like the Easter eggs on zombies, the mini Easter eggs on zombies, Star Wars Battlefront 2, installing mods and stuff like that. All these different things. Then you're also going to have a page where you can actually add on, sorry, where I'll put up the links to some of the like maps and that for Battlefront and mods for zombies and stuff like that, where you can go and download them from my website and get them straight away. There'll be a Q&A area on the website where you can talk to me or to other people that are on the website and so on. And basically it's just a huge website for everything, and obviously, like I said, it's something that is going to take a while to become completely reality as it is sort of being made as I sort of speak. And it is going to take a while to be up and running, but obviously once it does come up to being what it is and when it's running and that, I think it's going to be brilliant. I think it's going to be great. It'll keep everyone in one place as well, which is really nice to have. So it is going to be the way it is, and I think that is great. I'm going to make that happen. So that is going to be basically. So yes, there will be a website coming along in the future too. Now, you may also remember, some of you that have been around for a while, that a while ago I was talking about a Facebook page for the channel, and again, I'm still thinking about doing it. I don't know with the possibility of having obviously the website coming to be, whether the Facebook idea is even worthwhile doing anymore, but I still might do it anyway because Facebook's quite a big platform and obviously this is where a lot of people are. And again, it would also be quite a good place for everyone to talk to each other on my channel and things and discuss videos and tutorials and things like that. So I might make a Facebook page for the channel as well in the future. We do have a Twitter at the moment, although it is useful, but at the same time it's also a bit almost irrelevant when something like Google Plus, which we also have, is actually doing better and is more popular than the Twitter, which is surprising actually, but there you go. That's just the way it is, I guess. So there's that. But that's basically everything that I wanted to cover about the whole update and things to the channel. A little small few points that I wanted to go over. You are going to see people come to the channel. You've seen them in the past, obviously, but you are going to see people come to the channel. Like Pete will still be around. We'll have some other new people as well, probably coming to the channel at points. Skinny ODST, who you might have seen me talking about recently, who's another YouTuber. I will probably be playing things with him on consoles and that in the future, which will be cool. So I think you're going to see a few different bits and bobs. So just prepare for that. All right. I know some of you find it hard to accept new people when you prefer it to just be about me, as it is my channel, and I understand that. But I quite like having other people with me as well, because I think what a lot of you don't completely understand is it's fine and all making videos on your own and stuff, but after a while it can get quite, I don't know, it almost feels a little boring after a while. Well, not boring, but just not quite as thrilling, if you like, as it used to be. But when you do it with someone else, it's like a whole new level of almost like another personality on the whole game, and that is there, and that's great, and I like that. So you will see other people on the channel in the future. Right, moving on to live streams now. We have had one successful live stream on the channel in the past, and that was when I did the Origin Staff Some Girl Crowley mod for Black Ops 3 on the PC. And it was a reasonably popular live stream in the end, and actually, you know, it was kind of cool. Now, live streams, I kind of want to do more of them. However, they are very heavy on demanding via the internet and that. And they don't always work out, as you have seen in the past. I can only say this when it comes to the live stream because I don't really have the full answer. I will try and do live streams in the future. I would like to try and do live streams in the future, in particular when I do the marathon of HP3 on PC with Pete. I would like to do that as an actual live stream because it'd be cool to talk to you while we're also playing that. However, I can't guarantee that these things are going to happen because, again, it's dependent on the internet, isn't it? So if the internet's good, then it was fine. But sometimes the internet is not good. This is the problem. It's not always good and it's not always bad. It's just this random pot luck, really. So I can't always guarantee that there will be live streams, but what I can guarantee is that we will have some live streams that will exist on this channel in the future. I'm not completely getting rid of them. We will have some, so do prepare yourself for actually seeing live streams in the future, because they will exist. I will do live streams and I will obviously interact with you and stuff. What they are precisely going to be on and things is probably just going to be something that I will decide at the time of doing the video, if you like. The things that I really, in particular, want to live stream at the moment are things for Zombie Chronicles on the PS4. I haven't really had a chance to go and muck around and test all of that yet to see if it works properly with the internet and that. Without the cable, as in an Ethernet cable for the PS4, and just doing it over the Wi-Fi. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to give it a go, see what happens. If it doesn't work well over the Wi-Fi, then I'll try it with the Ethernet cable. If it doesn't work well with the Ethernet cable, then we'll just have to continue with recordings. But I'm going to try and do some live streams with Zombie Chronicles, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I'll have to let you know more about that at the time when that really happens, basically, because I can't let you know about it beforehand. Right now, sorry, because, well, I don't know myself. This is the problem. I don't know myself. But obviously, I can tell you what I can, so that's the way it's going to be. So, if you really want more information about live streams, wait until basically the point where I actually do a live stream, and if it goes well, then you'll know that it works. If it doesn't go well, then I'll probably create a video saying that I'm going to try again with an Ethernet cable or whatever, and you know, you get the idea. Basically, just keep an eye out if you want to know about live streams, because at the moment I can't give you a definitive answer. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. So that's all I can say and do. I think that mostly covers all the small points. There are other things and so on, but you know, that's just the way it's going to be. Right, so I kind of really want to cover over some questions that I've been getting from people, and these do go back to things that I've covered in the video anyway, but at the same time I like to just answer them properly for people, because it will feel good for me in some shape or form to just answer these properly here, right now, for everyone, and that's what I'm going to do. So they're not going to be answered in any particular order, they're random order, but I thought, you know, I might as well do that while also having these gameplays in the background. So, okay, first of all, the questions about LEGO Star Wars. There's only been 3, so let's go over them. So if you haven't noticed, in the past I have done LEGO Star Wars on my channel. I haven't recorded all of it yet. There's still parts of the complete saga that I need to record and things like that. Right, so yes, that will be finished. The answer to that question, yes, I'm gonna finish recording LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I will record the 5th and 4th episodes, as they're known as, and yeah, those will be done. The answer to the second one, yes, I am going to make mini kit guys. The white mini kits, yes, I will make guys for those, and where to find them for this game. So don't worry, you will have those. And the final one, which is, will you make blue mini kit guides? Now that is an interesting one. Blue mini kit guides, I feel they should really probably be made. The way of answering that is this simple. If the white mini kit guys are really successful, or successful enough in my opinion, then yeah, I'll make the blue mini kit guides. But otherwise, it's a bit unlikely, but it's a possibility. Bear in mind, they take a long time to create these sort of things. They take a while, so you're going to have to bear with me on that. Also, the white mini kit guys do include the red bricks in them as well, so just bear that in mind too. Right, so yes, that answers all those questions for the complete saga of LEGO Star Wars. There you go. Oh, and there was one other one about whether I'm going to ever record the Clone Wars LEGO Star Wars game, which I think is called LEGO Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars, I believe. I played it all the way through once in my life, quite a while ago now. Completed all of it, and yeah, it was a really good game. I really liked it, and I don't mind the Clone Wars as a TV series or Rebels. I think they're alright, but Yeah, I'll probably, if some of the other Lego games are popular enough, I'll probably go and record Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars. As for Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, possibly. I wasn't so keen on that game, I'm afraid, but possibly I'll consider it. We'll see. Um, right, so an answer to this question, which is kind of a question I've already answered, but I'm still going to answer it again here anyway, which is, are you going to finish recording Republic Commando? The answer is yes, and just an added in bonus to that question, I'm also going to go back and re-record the Geonosis levels of Republic Commando that never had me talking in them before, because you might remember if you were around back then, I recorded Republic Commando first, when I never spoke and never had a webcam and things like that. So I'm going to go and re-record those with me actually talking and things. So yeah, that's going to happen. Another question is, are you ever going to record Republic Commando multiplayer? Now, I know people will say to me immediately, well, yeah, but the multiplayer for Republic Commando is gone now, you can't use it anymore because, you know, they shut down the servers. Right, look. Okay, yes, they shut down the servers, but you could still play multiplayer on Republic Commando with, what's it called again? There's that. I can't remember it now. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. But the program that you can use on a lot of games, even like Battlefront 2 and Battlefront 1 is in the original ones by Pandemic. You can use this application to play on multiplayer with people, and quite a few people use this application. It's called Game Ranger, it might be, yeah, to play these things on multiplayer basically. So it's a possibility that I might do Republic Commando multiplayer. Yes, it's not 100% confirmed, but I might do. It's not on the top of my priority list, let's put it that way. But there's a possibility that it could happen. Yes. Right. Again, to answer some things that basically have been answered, but again, I still want to answer them. Will you record the rest of Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2? Right. Now, these ones are quite an interesting one, which actually I really need to answer properly, so I'm going to answer them properly here. And the answer is yes and yes to both of them. Knights of the Old Republic 1 is going to change a little bit from the first video that I recorded, so I am going to pick up again from where I left off with Knights of the Old Republic 1, which is the beginning of Taris, so I will be doing that. But what we're going to have to do, I'm afraid, is turn off the movies. I wanted to try and play both of them really, but well, obviously I can't play one like this, but I wanted to play one with the movies in it. Unfortunately, that really just isn't possible. It is a shame that that is the way it is, but I literally don't have a choice. I can't play the first game with the movies on it and record them for you because it's just physically not possible. It will not work. However, what I can do, and I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do it yet, is I can either record them as they are recorded by me and then just slip in the movies separately inside those segments where they're meant to be, or I can just do the movies on their own, and you know that'll be them on their own, which is also a possibility, which I might do. I really haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. Sorry, that's just the way it is, but I'll think of a way to do it. I'll think of something. I really haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that yet, but as it stands at the moment, I can't record KOTOR 1 with the movies in it. So I have to cut them out in some shape or form. Like I said, I can slip them in or something, but I'll decide at the time what I'm going to do about that. KOTOR 2, on the other hand, though, I can record that with the movies and things, and it's not a problem. That one works fine. Yes, I'm going to carry on with that. And no, we're not going to go and restart both games again. We're going to carry on from where we last left off on them both. Alright? Just to clarify that, we're going to carry on from where we left them off. We're not restarting them again. Alright? And yes, they will have the restore content mods on both of them. And there are other mods, but I'll explain those obviously when it comes to the videos at the time. Right, I think it's quite a perfect time to answer this question actually, considering the gameplay we're on currently is Serious Sam. Right, so I have a few questions for Serious Sam, surprisingly. Number one, are you going to finish off Serious Sam 3? Yes. Number two, are you going to record Serious Sam Fusion, which is, if you don't know what that is, it is the new Serious Sam that's just been brought out, which is basically all the old Serious Sam games, which is the first encounter and the second encounter, as well as I believe 3 at some point, being brought over to the new Serious Sam engine, so they run better and things in one whole game basically. And yeah, well, I will record the first encounter and the second encounter, obviously, on Fusion. Yes. If I happen not to finish 3 before it comes out on Fusion, then I may record the rest of the levels I haven't recorded on the Fusion version. But I think it will probably be finished, this recording of Serious Sam 3, before it releases on Fusion. But however, when it comes to first and second encounters, when I record them, I'm going to be recording those on the Fusion version. So you get to see a better version of them, basically. So yes, you will see those. I'm also going to be recording at some point in Serious Sam the next encounter, which a lot of people probably won't know about. It was an exclusive for the PS2 and the GameCube back in the day, and it was the only one ever released on them. And it was sort of like a little. It's not a canon game. It's sort of a standoff game that's just on the side. But in my opinion, it is one of, or possibly even the greatest. Probably not the greatest actually. I think I prefer 3, but one of the greatest Serious Sam games ever to release, and it was an incredible game. It really was. It was so much fun, and I hold it really dear to my heart. I played it when I was like a really young child and everything, along with the old Serious Sams, and it just feels right, you know, to go back and play it. So for that reason, I'm going to play it. I will play it for you guys. Yes, that will happen. I am going to go and play it and record it, and it'll be quite interesting, I think, to a lot of Serious Sam players that have never played it before, because it's going to be quite different to you, and it's not one of your average indie Serious Sam games. By indie, I mean like Double D or the random encounter. I'm talking about like a proper actual Serious Sam game. So yes, I will record that for you. I will do it. Was there anything of Serious Sam that I can think of off my head? Well, actually, yeah, I suppose I might put this one in as a little joke. Will you record Serious Sam 4? Well, let's put it this way. I'll record it when it releases, yeah. But at the moment, it doesn't exist. So, I can't record it yet. But yeah, when it releases, I'll record it. Yeah, that really sums up the Serious Sam questions. So, there you go. There's loads of different questions that I've received over this period of time, like probably too many to be honest, but yeah, I'm going through some of the ones that I feel really should be answered. Now this is an interesting one actually, and this one's really interesting because it's I'll explain it, but anyway, the question was, are you ever going to record Doom? And when he says recording Doom, he means the new Doom, as in the reboot of Doom, which is both ID and Bethesda. The answer to that is this is the most interesting part. I was always going to think about recording it on my own anyway. However, when Pete came up to me for the first time and we talked about recording videos and things and what we were going to do, he came up with an idea which was very. Well, let's put it this way: I'm not so keen on it, but at the same time, he's very keen on it, and he thinks that other people will really like it. So I'm inclined to trust him here, I guess. But anyway, he thinks that what we should do, because I have it on the PC as well as the PS4, but he thinks that we should play it on the PC, which is a bit buggy for me. But yeah, anyway, the PC, and play with one person on the mouse and one person doing the movements and stuff on the keyboard. I've never been a big fan of doing those sort of things myself because I like to do things the way I do them. I don't like to have to constantly argue over things, and it just kind of annoys me. But it's an interesting idea, and it's something that I don't think anybody else has ever done for that game, obviously, anywhere on YouTube and that. So I am tempted to actually go ahead and do that. I honestly might go ahead and do it and see what you guys think of it. Obviously, if you guys don't like it much with me playing with him like that, then I'm just going to play it on my own. But or we'll share it in turns as playing on our own. But anyway, yeah, Doom will eventually appear. I don't know when it's going to appear. I've got many other things that I want to put on top, really, over Doom on this channel. And don't get me wrong, I love Doom. I remember playing the classic Doom back in the day. Doom's got a big place in my heart, but there are just so many other games that have a bigger place in my heart, and I know other gamers would always say this as well, because, you know, when you're a gamer, you love the games in particular that you love, and that's just the way it works, really, isn't it? So yeah, well, it's just not got that big a place in my heart, but it is a brilliant game and I do love it. But yeah, it will come at some point, I think. Not sure when, but it will come. There you go. There are questions about, are you going to carry on doing games that you have recorded with Pete, seeing as Pete hasn't been around on the channel for a while. Yeah, now this is the interesting part here. Pete hasn't been around on this channel for a while. Indeed, you are actually correct, even though I haven't been uploading all the videos that I've done with him, mostly because I haven't had time to go and edit them. Whereas now I do, so you'll probably see a few more of those popping up soon. But I will say that the videos that I did do with Pete that weren't finished with Pete are going to be finished with Pete. They're going to be done. They're going to be finished with Pete. So yeah, you're going to see those videos with Pete and me. So yeah, do expect to see those. You're going to see them. So yeah, I am going to carry on with all these series and things that I did with Pete and didn't finish. We are also probably going to start a couple of other series. Seeing as this is a summer now, at some point when he's free, we're going to start doing this. Obviously, first of all, we've got to bear in mind here that Pete at the moment has quite a lot of different commitments that he's going into for things like acting, singing, boxing, stuff like that. Once he slows down on all of that a little bit, which will hopefully be quite soon, he's going to probably, you know, do what is needed, and he'll come here and finish off these series and start new series and so on. So yes, you will see them, don't worry, you will see them eventually. I don't have a date or anything for you, but you will see them. Right, so I don't want to sit here forever going over videos, or else I will be here forever, but we got one more clip after this that I'd quite like you to see from this video, which I put in as a montage, so I'll quite like you to see it. So I'm going to carry on until the end of that clip. So I'll save the Harry Potters for the next clip. You'll understand why in a minute. Crash Bandicoot, though, people are saying, are you going to just record Crash Bandicoot, the Wrath of Cortex, and that'll be it? Or are you going to make some other Crash Bandicoot videos? Right, so let's put this in perspective here. I love all the Crash Bandicoots. My most loved Crash Bandicoot games are Warped, in particular, and Nitro Kart. So yes, I will definitely record those for you. However, I did start doing the Wrath of Cortex. It is a game that personally I quite like. I know it's not been the most popular game in the world, and I know what its flaws are. I understand that. However, I do quite like it. I think it's alright. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and carry on recording it. And yeah, it's not a bad game in my opinion, just accept it. But yeah, the other games that I do love, and the reasons why I never recorded them before is because of the remaster, obviously, of Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is my most favourite Crash game of all time. I'm going to go and record that once it releases as a remaster, because it would be better for you guys to see a remaster of it than the original, in my opinion. So once it releases, which is obviously the end of June, then you'll see that, and you'll also see the remasters of Crash Bandicoot 1 and 2 as well with that. So yes, that's going to be all very exciting, and I'm looking forward to recording those for you. But they're going to have to wait for the time being, obviously. So that's mostly what I've got on the Crash Bandicoot front. However, when it comes to two other games in particular for Crash Bandicoot that I wanted to record on this channel are Nitro Kart, and I'm hoping I'm getting this one the right way round. I always confuse these two. Hang on, I will get this Cream Crash Team Racing. I think this is the right way round. Anyway, the original PS1 version of the racing games, not the one after Nitro Kart. I always confuse those two around. I think it's just called Crash Team Racing. I'm not certain, but anyway. Yes, well, those two I will also record and put on this channel because I love them. They hold a big place in my heart, and they're good Crash games. But when it comes to Crash games like Twin Sanity or Mind Over Mutant, stuff like that, I'm not going to bother doing them. Or at least I have no plans to do Twin Sanity. If somebody else that I record videos with decides that they want to do Twin Sanity, then cool, I'm happy to do it. But otherwise, Twin Sanity, right, it is cool that it is a whole open world Crash game. I like that aspect in that, but it just wasn't that interesting to me as a game, and also it's really difficult. It's such a hard game, but you know, in the end, it was just not a great Crash game to me. Fortunately, it sort of ruined the main story franchise of the Crash games for me, sadly. So I'm not going to record it unless somebody else wants to do it. But you know, the ones that I mentioned, the ones that I'm happy to record because I love them. So you know, that's the way it's going to be. But it doesn't mean that the others will not be recorded at all in the future, because there's a possibility that they could be just with somebody else rather than just on my own. And yeah, well, that pretty much sums that. So as we're on this video, I thought I'd talk about this now. Time splitters. So yes, I'm going to carry on recording all the time splitters, 1, 2, and 3. I'll also be recording the challenges for them, some multiplayer from them. The map maker stuff I'll do as well. And the other part I really want to bring up here is I'm going to record Time Splitters Rewind when it releases, because supposedly it's meant to release as a beta, I presume, or a demo this year at some point. Don't have any confirmation of a date yet, but it will release. So yes, I am going to go and record some of that for you, because honestly, I love Time Splitters. This is my most favourite game franchise of all time. And in general, when you have a remaster like Rewind, which is basically going back over all the old games, if you didn't know, come out after, what's it been, like 15 years or something now. It's been something ridiculous. You're going to want to jump on and obviously go and play that. So yes, you're going to see that. So yes, I will be doing those. So there you go. Obviously, I don't have an ETA on the Rewind stuff because I don't know when Rewind's coming out yet. When it does, you'll know. The other thing I wanted to add in here, I know nobody's asked about this yet, but I feel like it should be added in here, is the new Spider-Man game, which is made by Insomniac, I think I said their name right. The people that originally made Spyro and loads of other classics. Yes, I'm definitely going to be recording that for you guys. I love the Spider-Man video games, always have. And I think this one looks pretty groundbreaking, to be honest, and I'm sure most other people are going to find it quite groundbreaking too. And I think it'll be a really good game to record. So for that reason, you're going to see it. You are going to see it. Obviously, again, I don't know when it releases yet, but I'm sure we'll find out. Hopefully at E3. I'm not certain, but hopefully at E3 we'll find out. And yeah, I'll record it then for you, basically. And yeah, that'll be pretty cool when it happens. Yeah, well, that pretty much covers the Spider-Mans. Obviously, you guys should know by now that I did a bit of Spider-Man 2, the old game from the PS2 times, on the channel with Pete. And I did say on the PS2 times because there is another Spider-Man 2 game called Enter Electro, I believe it was, which was on the PS1 back in the day, which I also really like, which I haven't recorded or anything, and I haven't really got any plans to, but you know, it could come in the future, you never know. Hang on a sec. When you do a lot of talking, you need this sort of thing. Yeah, well, that pretty much covers all the big major questions I think that people really had, and in particular I wanted to cover. And you've obviously got the update and things on the channel and what is happening and what has happened and how it's all going to change. But yeah, well, I think I've gone over what I could, so hopefully that's got the message across to you all in some shape or form. Again, I apologise for the video being rather long for that reason, but at the same time I felt it was okay in some ways to make quite a long video for this, because there's a lot of information to go through here, and it needed to be done at some point anyway, and the fact it hadn't been done is pretty nuts. To me anyway. I'm sure it probably was to some other people as well, but you know, it was something that I felt needed to be done, so it is. And I'm glad it is done. Yeah, well, if you guys at all do have any questions related to what I've gone through at all, then please do not be afraid to ask in the comment section or send me a tweet or anything like that. I'll be more than happy to answer to the best of my abilities, to obviously make sure you guys understand. If you have any questions about things in the future as well, I'm more than happy to answer what I can. And yeah, well, that pretty much sums it up, really. It's pretty hot in here as well. Jeez. But anyway, I hope this did help you guys out. If it did, then please leave a like. I'll really appreciate that. Also, I am going to, for once, say this on this sort of video. Please share this video around. I want to make sure as many people see this as possible, because obviously there are going to be people that probably won't see this in particular straight away that really should. So if you guys could please share it around, it doesn't matter where it goes, really, just share it around, and make sure that everyone knows about what is happening. Even if you just tell them and don't share the video to them, then that would be great. It would help me out a lot as well. So yes, please do that. It would really make, like, a load of difference. And yeah, well, that really sums it up, to be honest. And I hope we can sort out this mess that has been made since September, and also make this channel have an even brighter future. And obviously, we've got some new equipment and stuff now, so hopefully it's going to be even better than it was before. But anyhow, I'm going to leave it here because else this video is going to be really long. And yeah, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the montage in the background as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So see you then, guys. Bye.